Hi everyone, my name is Les I Read and welcome to another video. So I'm going to be talking about some books that I used to love. This is going to be a rambly video. It's just going to be me talking about books that I knew I loved a long time ago. And I wanted to make this video because I was kind of going through like all my favorite series specifically. And I realized like a lot of the series I read a long time ago, like I don't remember very much. I remember like my feelings for and remembering like that I really enjoyed them and in some ways would still recommend, but at the same time, it was so long ago, it's hard to remember whether my feelings for it is still accurate. I'm a very different person than I was several years ago. This is like 3 years ago or more, and I just thought I would talk about it. A lot of these titles are from like the beginning of when I started really reading and discovering young adult. If you are unaware, that's the majority of what I read is young adult books, and young adult is really what gripped me when it comes to reading. I've explored some other genres, but my comfort zone is young adult, and I'm not really ashamed of it. I know I feel like I should grow out of it, but I just love it so much and I enjoy my time reading it, so I'm not really that ashamed of it really, especially if I'm going to make videos about it. So let's just get started with talking about some books. So the first 3 titles, even before I really became an avid reader, specifically the first title. So the first trilogy I want to talk about is the Hunger Games trilogy. I read this when I was first married, and I've been married 9 years now, so 8 years ago, I guess. And I have some really good memories about the Hunger Games, but I wasn't an avid reader then. I didn't read all the time like I do now, but we picked it up. Like me and my husband both read this series at the same time. We picked it up because we watched the first movie, and it was our first year of marriage. So we were actually living in the UK. We were living and working and traveling there for our first year of marriage, which was amazing. And we read the Hunger Games. We actually read like, I think books 2 and 3 backpacking through Europe. So I have some really fun memories. The things that I remember is that I really loved book 1 and 2, and I didn't like book 3. By the time I got to book 3, I was feeling really depressed because Katniss was like endlessly depressed. So like that's what I remember. So I can't even say if it's like still good or not, but I loved book 1 and 2 when I read it. And then after coming back to Canada and kind of getting settled in Canada again, that's when I started kind of reading again. I don't remember which series I read first, but there's a bunch that I read kind of around the same time when I was first discovering young adult. Like even when I was reading the Hunger Games, I didn't realize this was considered like a young adult series. But I read the Divergent series, the Maze Runner series. I kind of clump those two together because they are both dystopians, and both of those series are the same feelings I had with the Hunger Games, where I liked the first 2 books and I didn't like the 3rd book. I really loved Divergent. I think I liked Divergent better than the Hunger Games and the Maze Runner. I remember thinking the Maze Runner was quite scary actually. So yeah, again, like it was like I really liked books 1 and 2 and I didn't like the 3rd book. Yeah, that was interesting. Moving on to even more dystopians, you can tell this was like a theme back then, but I read the Ugly series, and I also read the Match series. I really liked Uglies 1, I remember that, and then 2 and 3 I didn't like as much, and then Matched book 1 was like okay, and then I remember liking the 2nd book better. Like it's so long ago that I barely remember my feelings for these series, but I did enjoy them when I did read them. And then I transitioned to Fallen Angels stuff. I really enjoyed that in young adult. So I read the Hush Hush series, and then I also read the Fallen series and really, really loved those both. Again, forever ago. I don't remember much about them. I remember they're both very angsty, which is usually what I like in a romance. And I really liked the Fallen Angel aspect. I thought that was a lot of fun. But again, like I can't really say if they're good anymore. It's been so long. Oh, right. I forgot to mention Delirium. Delirium was one of those series where if you asked me for an older dystopian series that I loved, this would probably be it. Like I would say I loved this way more than any of the other dystopians. I think maybe because it was mostly a romance, even though every other one was a romance too. But I really, really loved this one a lot, and I've been meaning to reread it, and I think I reread book 1 and enjoyed it, but that was, even then, that reread was a long time ago too. And since I loved Delirium trilogy, I picked up Before Fall and did enjoy it really well. Oh, I read Anna and the French Kiss trilogy and loved it. I think I liked book 2 way better than the other ones. I can't even tell you what happened in book 3. I don't even remember what it was called. Oh wait, I kind of remember. It's coming back to me a little. Yeah, but I really enjoyed that series a lot. Some fantasy. The Cinder series, the Lunar Chronicles, loved that series. I would probably say that still holds up probably, but I can't tell you definitively because it's been too long. There's Rebel Belle. I remember enjoying that, and I feel like people didn't like that series as much. I liked it just fine. I think I liked it because of the paladin aspect, and it was kind of like an urban fantasy. It kind of gave me Buffy vibes, which is probably why I liked it so much, but it didn't get overly well received, but I remember enjoying it. There's the Unearthly series that I liked. Again, another fallen angel, but it was a little different. It was less about the fantasy and more about relationships, so I did enjoy that. Graceling, I think Graceling is one I would still recommend. People really think highly of the series, and I would agree. I really enjoyed almost every book in that series. And then I also have The Selection here. The Selection is one of those where it's like, I would actually still consider a favorite series and would recommend to people if they really love romance. And the Iron Fae. Oh, The Selection and Iron Fae are still, in my heart, still favorites of mine. But I don't know if I could ever recommend to people because I don't think they hold up necessarily as well. But they're still like favorites. I don't know why that is. Like why I still love something, even though I know it's not as good. I'm currently rereading the Iron Fae series, and it's dated, that's for sure. But I still loved book 1 when I read it, and I still loved book 4 was still really good. I wasn't the biggest fan of 2 and 3, and I'm going to be reading the second trilogy in preparation for the new book. Like, they still hold a special place in my heart, but would I recommend it? Probably not. It depends on like the person's taste, I guess. So yeah, this was not much of a video, and I just rambled on with some titles that I used to love. It's so hard like looking back at some of these titles. Like I loved them when I read them, but I feel so detached from them, and it's been so long that I don't even know if I could recommend them anymore, and it's kind of sad. And there's too many books to reread everything on this list. I have too many books on my bookshelf too. So like the chances of me actually rereading these are probably very slim. If I'm going to reread something, it has to be relevant to me now. Do you ever struggle with this? Do you ever struggle with remembering titles from long ago? Do you ever struggle with recommending books that you read forever ago? I would love to know. So comment down below. And I would love to know your thoughts and opinions about this really random topic. So if you want more bookish content from me, please click on the video on the screen. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. If you have not done so, you can follow me on Instagram and Goodreads. And you know what? I want you to keep reading. Bye.